All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the ultimate playbook for modern MSMEs to actually thrive, even when resource constraints are, well, frankly, brutal. If you're trying to scale an organization right now, especially in a rural or semi-urban setup, you already know the pressure. But today, we're going to flip the script. We'll be looking at a strategic blueprint drawn directly from recent studies and government frameworks that completely shifts how we approach business growth.
So, here's our agenda for today. We're covering four main areas. First, the mindset of cost reduction. Second, how AI is supercharging industrial productivity. Third, empowering growth with the Aspire scheme. And finally, achieving a sustainable competitive advantage. Let's get right to it. It is a wild market out there. Supply chain headaches, sky-high expenses, the constant push to innovate, it all puts a massive squeeze on your margins. So you might be wondering, how on earth do you scale when it feels like you're just trying to survive to the end of the month? Well, the secret actually lies in fundamentally rethinking how we look at our expenses. That brings us to our first pillar, the mindset of cost reduction, moving from defense to offense. Look, most companies practice cost control. They set a budget, keep an eye on it, and freak out a little when they overspend. But honestly, that's just playing defense. Cost reduction is a totally different ballgame. It's proactive. We're talking about the continuous, systematic lowering of unit costs. And here's the absolute key: doing it without dropping the ball on quality. While controlling costs just keeps you inside the lines, actively reducing costs completely transforms your baseline. It's how you go on the offensive and actually win. To play offense like this, you need the right playbooks or process-oriented paradigms. Take activity-based costing, or ABC. This gives you amazing visibility by linking your costs to individual tasks, so you know exactly where the waste is hiding out. Then, when you bring in frameworks like Kaizen, which is all about those small, daily, employee-driven improvements, and lean manufacturing, you systematically eliminate that waste. There's also design to cost, where you literally bake cost considerations into the very first stages of product design. Put all these together, and you're permanently shrinking your operational footprint. All right, mindset is set. Let's move to pillar 2, AI, supercharging industrial productivity. This is our technology pillar. The empirical data on this is just mind-blowing. Check this out. A mere 1% increase in AI adoption can pump up your overall productivity by 14.2%. I mean, let that sink in for a second. That is a massive multiplier effect that traditional mechanization literally cannot touch. And the absolute brilliance of AI is that it's a 2-for-1 deal. We aren't just boosting productivity, jumping from 60 to 68. We are simultaneously crushing operational costs, driving them down from 100% to 87%. Historically, if you wanted to increase output, your costs went right up with it. AI completely tears up that old rulebook. If we break down exactly where these benefits hit, it paints a pretty clear picture. The biggest chunk, 35%, is pure productivity gains. Then you've got a 25% slice going straight to direct cost reduction. And we can't ignore that 20% dedicated to quality improvement. For instance, AI-driven visual inspection systems can spot defects so fast and so accurately that some industries are cutting their defect rates in half. So, how does this actually play out on the factory floor? Well, by using predictive maintenance, AI can basically see into the future and predict machine failures before they happen. That slashes machine downtime by 30 to 50% and lowers maintenance costs by 20 to 30%. Toss in some smart automation and better resource allocation, and you're looking at a 12% drop in overall manufacturing costs, plus up to a 30% reduction in labor costs. The numbers don't lie. AI is the ultimate cheat code for lean manufacturing. But hey, let's be real for a minute. If it were easy, everyone would do it by tomorrow. Integrating AI comes with some serious speed bumps. You're looking at high initial investments, a massive need to reskill your workforce, and the headache of managing huge, secure data sets. If you're running a micro or small enterprise, especially out in a rural area, you're probably thinking, yeah, great for big tech, but no way can I afford this. And that thought leads us perfectly into our third pillar. Welcome to Empowering Growth with Aspire. This is the ecosystem pillar, where we actually solve that exact problem of affordability. Enter the Aspire scheme. Launched by India's Ministry of MSME, Aspire, which stands for a scheme for promotion of innovation, rural industries, and entrepreneurship, is literally the bridge you need. It gives MSMEs the exact resources required to adopt advanced tech, learn those cost reduction techniques, and scale up efficiently. The whole point of the scheme is to spark entrepreneurship and create real jobs outside of the big major metropolitan hubs. And through its core components, Aspire tackles those exact barriers we just talked about with AI. The Livelihood Business Incubation Centers give you the physical space and tech access to get ideas off the ground. The skill development and training programs, that solves your workforce reskilling hurdle right there. Plus, the financial support, through grants, loans, and equity, gives you that scary initial investment capital. They even hook you up with market linkages and industry mentorships so you're not flying blind. The best part is that getting this backing is super straightforward. First, you put together a detailed project proposal, highlighting your innovation and how you'll create local jobs. Second, you just submit it online through the MSME portal. Third, a steering committee takes a look to evaluate the feasibility. And finally, if you're approved, you get your funds and support dispersed. It ensures that the really viable, innovative projects get the runway they actually deserve. Which brings us to our final section, sustainable competitive advantage, tying it all together. So, we've got our proactive cost reduction mindset, we've got the AI tech to do the heavy lifting, and we've got the Aspire ecosystem to fund it. Are we good to go? Well, not quite. Because as the studies clearly show, without management commitment, capable staff, and a culture that values continuous improvement, even the best cost initiatives can totally fail. Funding and tech mean absolutely zero without the human element. If your leadership treats cost management like a once-a-year audit instead of a daily habit, those gains will just vanish. You need total buy-in from the top down. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative question. Is your organization just controlling costs, or are you actively engineering sustainable growth? Are you just surviving this month's budget, playing defense, or are you building the ultimate playbook for tomorrow? Because when you combine that Kaizen mindset with the crazy power of AI, and you back it up with ecosystem programs like Aspire, you can turn your resource constraints into an absolutely unbeatable competitive advantage. Thanks for joining me today, and I really challenge you to look at your operations in a whole new light.